So this video is for integrated 3 and integrated 2MA. This is the more math modeling worksheet. So on this worksheet, we have the Las Vegas Ferris wheel. The high roller has a 520 foot in diameter, makes a revolution every 30 minutes. The center of the Ferris wheel is 290 feet above ground. Sketch a graph and write an equation. Okay, so for this, again, some important information. Let's mark that up. So it has a 520 foot diameter, makes a revolution every 30 minutes. It is 290 feet above the ground. Okay, the center is. Okay, so for this, let me draw my graph. This is going to be minutes, and this is going to be feet. Now we know the highest it goes. Well, we don't know the highest. What we do know is that at 290, that's the center of our Ferris wheel, and that's going to be our K, our vertical shift. We also know that our diameter of this is 520. So it's going to be 520 from high to low. So if I take 520 and divide 520 by 2, I end up getting 260. So I'm going to be going 260 above and 260 below. So this is going to be my radius. It's also going to be my amplitude. So 260 is going to be our amplitude. So I'm going to be going 260 above and 260 below. So when I go 260 above, okay, I'm adding 260. My high is going to be up at 550. When I subtract 260, my low is going to be at 30. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sketch this. And so I have my high and low. And then I have my middle, which is my K. I always graph 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in this situation, we do not know where we're starting. So I would start somewhere that is easy for me to start. So why don't we start with our high being at 550. And so hold on, I need to actually take off one of these because I'm going to have the y-axis be one of my values. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's my 5th one. Okay. So I'm going to be starting up at 550, ending up at 550, and then I'm going to have my middle, low, middle. I'm off by 1. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, so let me start again. Okay, so let me graph it in this purple. Okay, so that's going to be my, or I'll do it in this red so you can see it. That's going to be my high. Over here, this is my high. This is going to be my middle, my low, my middle, and this is going to be my graph. Now, for this, I know my amplitude. Okay, my amplitude is 260. I know my K, that's going to be 290. I know that my period is 30 minutes. So if I'm starting here at 0, I am going to be ending 30 minutes later. Now that means my period, 2 pi over b, is going to be equal to 30. So I multiply both sides by b. I'm going to get 2 pi is equal to 30b. 2 pi over 30 equals b. So that's going to be pi over 15. So our equation is going to be y equal RA. Remember, our amplitude was 260. I'm going to draw this, write this as a cosine. And then my b is going to be pi 15ths. Now, I would have it x minus h, but in this case, I am starting at 0. That's what time I'm going to start. It didn't give us any other values, so let's start where it's going to be easy for us. And then I'm going to add to that my vertical shift, which is 290. And that's our equation. Now, on the next problem, Mr. Lee, Mr. Emus, and Mrs. Van Sokema find that the number of students in math lab sinusoidally with time. They started the time t equals 0 right after the bell. A minimum number of 5 people occurred when t is equal to 3.4 minutes. The next maximum of 40 people occurred at when t is equal to 20.3 minutes. We want to sketch a graph, label all important values, and then write an equation of the graph. Okay, so some of this important information. We're going to start at t equals 0. Okay, that's going to be something important. We know that a minimum of 5 occurred when t is 3.4 minutes. We know that the next maximum occurs with 40 people at 20.3 minutes. Okay, so let me graph this. So this is going to be time in minutes, and this is going to be people, number of people. Okay, so our low, they said, was 5 people. Our high, they said, was 40 people. So if I take 40 plus 5 and divide it by 2, I get 45 divided by 2, which is 22.5. That's going to be my center. That's going to be my K. So 22.5. This is going to be my K. That is going to be my vertical shift. So this is my high and low. And then this is my middle. And in this case, the time is going to start t equals 0. But the time that we know is 3.4 minutes. So I'm going to put 3.4. And that was our minimum. And then I'm going to have 1, so 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I'm graphing this, I'm going to have, I have my 0 or my minimum, my 0 or my middle, my high, back to my middle, and then back to my low. Now I know that the 40, the high, occurred at 20.3 seconds. So this is going to be, let me do it this way. This here is going to be 20.3. So if I take 20.3 and 3.4 and add them up, I'm going to get 23.7. I'm going to divide that by 2. So 23.7 divided by 2. I get an 11.85. So this is going to be 11, whoops. 11.85 minutes. And then that means I'm going to go again another 11.85 minutes. So I'm going to add that on to the 20.3. And let's see what we get. So let's see. I'm going to get 32.15 is what I'm going to get. So, or 30, yeah, let's see, 20.3 plus 11.85. Yeah, so this end is going to be here at 32.15. And then my whole entire period, I'm going to have 11.285, sorry, 11.85, basically times 2. That'll be the length over here. 11.85 times 2, that's that length. And I end up getting 23.7 minutes, which we kind of knew from right up here. So now I need to write an equation. So my equation, I'm going to have y equal. This is going to be a negative cosine because I'm going to go from low to low. And my b is going to be the distance from here to here or here to here. So if I go 40 minus 22.5, I end up with 17.5 that I'm adding above or subtracting. So this is going to be my A. That's my amplitude. So my equation is going to be y is equal to negative 17.5 cosine. Now my B is found with my period. So my period, 2 pi over B, is going to equal 23.7 minutes. So 2 pi is equal to 23.37 B. And when I do this math, I am going to get 25 divided by 2 pi divided by 23.37, which gave me a decimal, gave me 0.085 or 86 times pi, or 200 over 2337 pi is equal to B. So I'm going to put that in front of my x. So it's negative 17.5 cosine. And I am going to have x, sorry, I need to put in my B, 200 pi. Just move this. Okay. And then I'm going to have over 2000, so 200 and pi over 2337 times x minus my start, which is 3.4. And then I'm going to go plus my k, which is 22.5. And that's our equation. So on number 3, write the sinusoidal function with the low point being 3 comma 27 and the highest being 1177. Okay. So let's say that I am going to draw a cosine because I know my low. So let's say at 3 comma 27 is my low. And my next high is going to be at 11 comma 77. So what I need to find is basically the distance from here to here. So I am going to take 11 and subtract it from 3, which gives me 8. So this has a period, not period, but from here to the center is going to be 8. And then I'm going to go all the way across to here is going to be 16. So if I add 16 on 3 comma 27, I'm going to get 19 comma 27 as my low. Okay, so now I'm going to write an equation for this. So I'm going to have y is equal to, I'm going to do a negative cosine because I'm going to go from low to low. So negative. And then my amplitude, well, what I need to pay attention to is where is my center? Okay, vertical height. So if I was to take 77 plus 27, add them up and divide by 2. So let's see, 77 plus 227, or sorry, just 27. Let's see, so 77 plus 27 divided by 2 gives me 52. So this is my vertical shift, which is up at 52. Okay, and the other thing I know is since it's 8 on either side, my period is going to equal 16. So I am going to, is not, yeah, is going to equal 16. And so 2 pi over b is equal to 16. And when I work that out, I'm going to get 2 pi is equal to 16 pi, 16b. And that is going to give me, when I divide both sides by 2, 8b. So for this, I know I'm going to have y is equal to, and when I'm trying to figure out what my amplitude is, it's the distance from here to here and here to here. Well, since all the way from the top to the bottom is 50 because I have 77 high, 27 high. This is going to be 25 feet and 25 feet. So my amplitude is going to be y is equal to a negative 25 times where I'm going to start, which right here. So x minus 3. Sorry, I forgot my cosine. And I'm going to use a negative cosine. So cosine. And I want it to be, well, first I need to find my period. So that's going to be pi 8 is going to be my b. So I'm going to have pi 8 times my x minus where I'm going to start was at 3. And then plus my amplitude, which is 52. So I'm going to have y is equal to, and then for this, we're going to put this into our calculator. So let me just write it, 25 cosine pi 8 times x minus 37 plus 52. Okay, and what they want us to do actually is just the equation. So that's it. Done. And hopefully that helps you out.